What's going on, everybody? My name is Aiden and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, today I have a question that I'd like to ask you guys. In a couple of days, maybe about a week's time, we will hopefully figure out where the Chicago Bulls first round pick is going to land. Whether it's going to be, early lottery or late lottery. I'm pretty sure it's the only places it can be. I could be wrong, I'm not too sure. Regardless of that fact, the question that I have to ask is, does it matter where the Chicago Bulls first round pick is? Now, of course, a simple answer here, but maybe it's not as simple as you think, and we'll talk about it in this video. Before we get any further, if you liked the video and you want to see more from me, drop a like, drop a follow, and or subscribe if you are new, and let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the Chicago Bulls, their draft, and whether or not you believe it will be a good draft for the Bulls. Will it be a draft worthy to talk about, or will it be one to forget? So yeah, without further ado, let's get started. So, will it matter where the Chicago Bulls first round pick is? I think an obvious answer is yes. And I think the answers are pretty obvious as well. Of course, you get, to the early lottery draft selections, you are more likely to get a better player in return in that regard compared to the late lottery or compared to out of the lottery and into the late first round and stuff of that nature. So, of course, statistically speaking, the higher you go, if you get the first overall pick, for example, there's more likely chance you're going to get yourself that centerpiece and that cornerstone player that we've been talking about for oh so long compared to getting the 14th overall pick, for example. So that's pretty obvious, right? Of course, it does matter where the pick lands. However, the pick will not matter unless the Bulls actually draft well. And that is why there is a big argument as to why this pick will not matter for the Chicago Bulls. And we can look at history to prove the point here. So look, for the draft situation here, we have to go based on AK's draft selection. I know Kobe White is still a player for the Bulls, but he was drafted from the old regime. We're in a new regime, ladies and gentlemen, or at least it's not so new at this point in time, but we're in a different regime, let's say. Who are the players that have impressed you from our draft selections? We've had quite a few busts, in all fairness. Guys like Marco we selected was a bust. Some guys that we selected after the draft as two-way contract guys, pretty much none of them have remained. We've selected Ayo. I think Ayo is a gem, in all honesty, considering where he was picked. He's a very reliable player, and he's a player worthy of the first round. And he got selected in the second round, so we like that one. I mean, Patrick Williams still has potential to be something in this league, but as the fourth overall pick, not so impressive. Julian Phillips is someone that I really like. Dalen Terry's made some improvements, but overall, you have to genuinely ask the question, have we drafted well? Because I can make the argument, sure, that we like the players that we've selected and that there's some improvements going on there. But in almost every single way, maybe except for Ayo, really, we could have drafted better. We could have had Walker Kessler on this team instead of Dalen Terry. We selected that wrong, unfortunately. We could have had Tyrese Halliburton instead of Patrick Williams. We drafted that wrong, in my opinion. So as much as we could say that we like the players that we draft, of course we do. We're Bulls fans. It's like our moral obligation in many ways to like these players and to, hope that these players could take the next step in their development and in their career. But we could have had a different road. We could have had a much different road depending on who we drafted, let's say. And it could have put us in a better position. So I don't think we've drafted well in its entirety. I mean, for Patrick Williams, we can take a deeper dive into this. I like Patrick Williams, and I think Patrick Williams could be a very good contributor to a very good team. But I think as the years go by, we are slowly starting to see Patrick Williams is not the superstar that we anticipated him to be. He has all the skills, he has all the talent, but that doesn't necessarily give you the right to become a superstar in this league. Sometimes it is about the mentality, sometimes it is about the opportunity, sometimes it is about the development, and I don't think we've done that very well whatsoever. And we could have drafted a little bit better there, in my opinion. For a fourth overall pick, you were expecting more than what you got. That's really it in a nutshell. It's not to be mean, but that's just the harsh reality. And I still want Patrick Williams to be around for the Bulls, considering we did select him. I still want him around because I think he can still contribute. Dalen Terry, I like Dalen Terry, but he's not a first round draft prospect in my opinion. We selected him at the 18th overall pick. There were very few people that really thought he would go that high in terms of the NBA draft prospects. There were a couple of people that were predicting around that range, but it was a very, very, very minority compared to the majority. And look, we've seen some development, sure. But again, compared to who we could have got, I think we were disappointing there. You know, a lot of our second round draft prospects out of the league. So it's really Io that I really thought, wow, we did better than we expected in that regard. So we've not drafted well. And if you don't draft well, it doesn't matter where you land. Doesn't matter if you land first or you land 60th. If you don't draft well, you're not going to get the best out of your team. You're not going to get the best out of your player. You are going to select wrongly. So it's up to the management here. This is where the management really gets paid to do their job. Every single team in the league, at some point in another, has to select someone from the draft. It's inevitable. This is where a lot of the management earns their money. Selecting the right people into the team. The right attitude. The right talents. The right position. You know, whatever it takes to make this team better. Sometimes you have to take risks on board and stuff of that nature. Maybe drafting, for example, Michael Porter Jr., when he got drafted to the Denver Nuggets, he had a massive back issue at the time. If it wasn't for that back issue, I fully believe he'd be a Bulls player right now. Again, old regime, so we can't really talk about it. But that's some of the risks you might have to endure in order to get a successful team. So many things swirling around, right? But it's as simple as this. AK had the 4th overall pick with Patrick Williams. And he fumbled it. So we got in the top 4. First time in ages. We got into the top 4 and we fumbled the bag on that pick. So as high as we can get, if you select poorly or you select someone that could be good but will not be that superstar centerpiece at that high of a draft pick, then at the end of the day, it doesn't matter where you land. So that's the real answer here. AK, Mark Eversley, the Bulls front office, Billy Donovan, whoever is in that conference room making the phone calls on draft night. Select the right player. Select the right talent. It's as simple as that. Select what's best for this team. Don't necessarily go for the need. You know, oh, we need a center. We need a point guard. We need a shooting guard. Whatever position we need. Go for someone that you could truly see yourself building around this player. Because the way that I see it, I said it before, I don't think we have a cornerstone piece for the Bulls. I like Kobe White, but I don't think he's a cornerstone player just yet. I like Io, but I don't think he will be a cornerstone player. DeRozan is getting up there in age. He can't be our cornerstone player forever. You truly have to find someone that you can think to yourself, this player is good enough to build your team around them. That's what I want. And that's what I hope we can get. So look, I want to be that 1st overall pick. I want to be the 2nd overall pick. I want the higher echelon picks because it gives you the better chance to do it. But most importantly, I want AK to make the right selections. Do not go for the project. Do not go for the player that's going to take 4, 5, 6, 7 years to develop, because by then Bulls fans will lose faith. We've seen it already. We always see it every single season. Not every player needs to be a 10-year project to develop. Sometimes you can get those players that will make an impact now and grow from there. Those players, you can still get them. You know? At least that's just my opinion. But what do you guys think? Am I right? Am I wrong? Ultimately, if AK continues to make selections that disappoint us, then the draft might be put out of the question for a while. You know, and another thing before I go, we can get lucky. Luck is a big factor in the draft. I mean, there was very few teams that wanted Giannis Antetokounmpo, but Milwaukee got lucky. They selected him, and now we'll look what's happened to that organization. And, you know, luck does go a long way in the NBA draft. So even if you might think AK's made the wrong pick, that doesn't mean you go at him straight away, because there's still room for luck. And luck could take you the extra mile. You know, sometimes it is luck that gets you a championship. Some people don't believe in luck. I disagree. I think luck plays a big factor in championships and in championship teams. Simple as that. What do you guys think? Thank you for watching. Drop a like and a follow and or subscribe if you are new. I will see you in the next one. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay tuned for more. Take care and peace.